Hello, Splensnickle here with another figure review. This time we have got the DC Direct Arkham Asylum Joker. I really wasn't that bothered about getting this figure because I did have the Batman Legacy Joker, this guy, and I thought he was a phenomenal figure. Now I've actually got this one in hand, I really am impressed with him. I have one kind of overall gripe with him. You can probably guess what that is if you've watched any of my other videos. Not the greatest articulation, but the detail and the sculpt I think is really, really good. Plus he comes with a little scar face, which doesn't have a scar on his face, which I think is a bit weird. I thought the whole point about the Scarface puppet was he had a scar on his face. But whatever, here he is. I have a Scarface, that's pretty cool. It makes me want to make a, is it Wesker? It's not Albert Wesker, because that's thingy. I'm pretty sure his last name's Wesker. I can't think what his first name is. I don't know, the puppeteer. The ventriloquist. And Scarface. But we'll go over him in a minute. This figure is, like I said, phenomenally detailed, and it's really, really, really well sculpted. The face on him, I think, is absolutely awesome. And I don't know if it's a spot on from the actual game itself, but it's a very cool face. I mean, look at that face. You look at that. There's no question in your mind which character this is, really, is there? So that is the Joker. Got a nice menacing smile. I think this one smiles a bit bigger, a bit wider. This one seems to be a bit more maybe realistic. This one's a bit more drastic. But yeah, it's just really, really well sculpted. And the excuse me, sorry about that. And the choice of colours that they've gone with, just everything's so vibrant. From the pinstripe in his suit to his shirt, even down to his little shoes. Just the attention to detail is just so much better. Yeah, I don't have a turntable, so I'm have to do it manually. I'll even add the noises. This is of course second hand. I got a great deal off of someone from a trade website. I actually paid for these though, and I've got quite a few of these DC Direct ones which I'm going to be going over. I'm not going to tell you who, because it will spoil the surprises. Spoil the surprises. As you can see, he's sporting a stand, standard DC UC stand. And he came with these two accessories. You know, it's the one peg hole. They all seem to have the one peg hole in the right foot, whereas the DC Batman Legacy don't seem to have any peg holes, which I went over in my Catwoman review. Keep saying sorry guys. It's all hard plastic, but the tails are a soft plastic. These are also a hard plastic. I think it'd be maybe better if they made the whole of this part a softer plastic or rubber, just so it doesn't really hinder an articulation and maybe doesn't get in the way. He has a real chain, which I think is very cool, opposed to a rubber one, which this guy comes with. He's very skinny, very skinny. If I bring Batman in, just hear that go, boom. As you see, Batman's quite bulky, Joker's skinny, which is very good because he's both from the Direct line. Put you over there, Batman. Don't fall over. He's going to fall over. He always falls over. But yeah, this, just the attention to detail in the shirt, all these like ripples, it's really cool. They didn't bother with that. So I was saying about in my last review, some legacies are much more detailed. Like if you compare, I've lost him. Here he is. So I've got all my Batman collection right behind me, so I can grab any figure out on the fly. But if you compare these two, right, and I'm going to zoom. Right, look at the Direct one. So there's no texture whatsoever, but there's texture there. It's the same thing for the Robin, but it's the other way around. There's texture on the Direct one, but there's no texture on the Legacy one. Same thing for this one. No texture on the Legacy. Focus. Focus. There you go. No texture on the Legacy. Texture on the Direct one. So it's just one of you pick something, you know, stick to it. But no, it's cool. You know, I don't mind. I like the details now. I wasn't really that bothered by details when I started collecting, but the more I'm getting into this now, or in my later years in collecting, I'm definitely getting more and more obsessed with how much detail they've got, and say, oh, there's not that much detail, it's rubbish. I could do a better job than that because, you know, I'm a troll and trolls can do everything better than everyone else. Also, something I point out is the difference between these two is his patch is actually sculpted, whereas this one's just painted. So again, the attention to detail is really there on this one. This guy's coat is rubber, so it's pliable, and he does have an ab crunch, which I went over in my other review. He has no articulation in the torso whatsoever. Let's go over his articulation now. The head is on a ball hinge, or ball, so it can go up to that much, down that much. So really not a great range up and back, up and down. Sorry guys. Little bit of a pivot, nothing massive, and then a full 360 degree around. Shoulders are on, I want to say ball disc, but they're not, I don't think. No, I think they're on ball discs. They can go up to there and around 360 degrees. See, this is something that's bugging me, which I'll come back to in a sec. He has no bicep cut, no elbow rotate swivel, so he just has a single bend in the elbow of 90 degrees about, maybe just under, and then he has a cut in the wrist. Like I said, nothing in the torso. I don't believe he has a waist. No waist. So then next thing he has is T-cut hips, but they seem... See, this is where I'm not too sure. Someone can help me out with this one. His hips seem to be just forward and back. But he seems to grow out a bit, and I don't know if they just work loose because they're second hand, or if that's supposed to be the pivot or the out. Honestly don't know. But that's his Spartan. That's his split. If it is, it's pointless. I'm guessing they work loose because they are quite loose. But like I said, second hand. I can tighten up. I'm not that bothered. Single bend in the knee. Nowhere near 90 degrees. Sorry, man. It's really early this morning, so I probably shouldn't be doing these things this early, but I'm trying to. And then he seems to have a ball ankle, so you can get from there to there with some pivot and some rotation. So quite great range of motion in the ankle considering it's trousered. Or pants. Don't know how to emphasis on pants there. Right, what I was saying about the shoulders is I've noticed with the new DC Direct or collectibles that have come out, you've got Black Mask and the new Arkham Origins Joker, and they just have cut shoulders. Yet they've provided quite clearly hinge shoulders. Why do cut when you can do hinge? And that does not look horrible to me at all. In fact, if you even come over to this one, you can't even really tell. And here's a hinge as well. Not massively, I'll admit, but they're still there. They're like, I think they did it to preserve the sculpt, but then as soon as you move the arm that way, it messes up. But I will show you that when I get one, if I get one. I don't know if I want them because they look quite rubbish, to be honest. But like I said, he's actually a really, really nice sculpted figure, and I'm very happy that I've got him now. I really wasn't that bothered, which I think is quite interesting. Then we have a little scar face. Don't know why you have to add the emphasis on this face, even though there's no S in face. Moving on. Yeah, this figure is actually really well sculpted. Trying to get some focus. There we go. You can see there's like a lot of wood grain sculpted into the actual face itself. But like I said, there's no scar. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure Scarface has a scar on his face, hence the name. I'm sure he does. I'm quite confident about that one. But he's really cool. Very cool little dummy. No hinge in the jaw, which I thought was quite interesting as well. Moving on. He's got a little kind of cup on his back there, which is hidden if you look at it like that, kind of. Oh, what the heck is that? That's so Joker can hold him one-handed. It's interesting what they've done, and I will show you that in a second. He does have a bit of articulation, nothing massive. The head is on a ball, but you're not going to get much forward or backwards from it, or side to side. Just rotation, a full 360 degrees around, and that was very Exorcist really, wasn't it? His arms are also on a cut, so they can go up and hold his hat. Top of them orange here. They could go round, but the head is quite big and it does hinder. Both arms a bit better. You see in this elbow, the elbow's worn through, and you can see the joint, which I think is very cool. Has these kind of like joint knees as well. Very cool. Little shoes. His legs can go forward that much and back that much. He does stand on his own, which I think is very, very cool as well. The annoying thing about these DC Direct figures is because their articulation is limited, you can't really do a decent sitting pose while holding him. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. So, but he does stand very well by himself if you don't just drop him down, obviously. And as I said, his hand, if you just, I'll try and show you like this way. You have to kind of wedge it in there. And then he holds him. But it makes him very front heavy. And it looks a bit awkward holding him unless you kind of like that. Even when I was using the base earlier, I still found him very front heavy. Oh, just broke the base. Nice. Looks a bit weird. To me, it looks a bit better if it's kind of like just holding him down to the side. Maybe like looking... I don't know, because you can't really get him in any drastic poses, it just looks a bit awkward when he holds him. But I am happy that I've got him. I think he's a great addition to my collection. I definitely want to make a ventriloquist and have them together. What do I think of this figure all in all? I think I'm just going to try and get this out. Oh, good. Need to glue that. Just broke it. I literally just pushed a peg and it's now popped that through. Don't know how well you can see that. It's fine. Just some super glue and that should be fine. Interesting. But okay. Yeah, what do I think of this figure? I think it's a really great figure. I think he's a great addition to any Arkham collectors out there. He's super rare though, so I'm really happy I got him at a really good price as well. So very, very, very happy. He stands just shy of 7 inches, probably about 6 3/4 inches. So you could probably get him into your 6-inch line. I also have coming up next, I'm going to do Miss Quinn from Arkham City. They go very nicely together. And as you saw him from the Arkham City Batman DC Direct and the Arkham City Batman Legacy, the Direct one's a bit bigger, but I think they both work. And I will do a quick side by side with his counterpart. If I had to pick one of these, I did the same kind of thing with Nightwing. I prefer the articulation on this guy, but the sculpt on this guy. I seem to be doing that a lot. It seems to be, you kind of sacrifice, either you have sculpt or articulation. It's kind of hard. I wish there was a medium. I do like this head over this head, but I do like this body over this body, but this articulation. So we may have a play and see if we can improve this guy's articulation. Maybe we shall see. I don't know. That's so rare. I don't want to touch them. It's so expensive. We shall see. I would recommend picking this guy up if you see him going for a reasonable price. I do think his rarity has made his price a bit extreme, so I wouldn't pay all that much for him. It kind of depends how much of a Joker or an Arkham Asylum fan you are. I'm not a stickler for getting every figure. I just want the figures I want. And though I do think that is getting all of the Arkham line. Yeah, I think I am. I didn't even realise. But this very cool figure. Definitely a very cool figure. I do recommend him. And yeah, there's not much else I can really say. Thanks for watching, guys. As per usual, please leave any comments below. Please subscribe. And I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye-bye.